Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about exercise and diabetes. Now, I get a lot of questions from my patients about how to exercise when you have diabetes, what type of exercise do you need to do, how long do you need to do, how intense it has to be, right? So, we are going to talk all about this now. I am Dr. Ahmed Ergin, and I am the founder of SugarMDs.com. I'm an endocrinologist and a diabetes expert. So, we are going to start with why you should exercise with diabetes. Now, number one, exercise will improve the glucose utilization in your body. So, basically, if you exercise, the blood sugar that comes from your food will be used by your muscles. Simple as that. If you do not exercise, it's going to turn into fat, and that's going to cause insulin resistance. You will become diabetic if you're not. If you have diabetes, your blood sugar will remain high, and that's the definition of diabetes, right? So your body cannot handle the sugar that comes from the diet. So as a result, your blood sugar will have to be high unless you utilize it by using exercise, by doing exercise. So the more exercise you do, the less medication you will need. It's as simple as that. Now, I also understand that not everybody is physically capable of doing every exercise, but everybody, unless you're totally bedridden, should be able to do some sort of physical activity that can get the blood moving, the muscles working, and that's why we're going to talk about that as well. Again, Sugar MDs is an on-demand diabetes care, so depending on your specific situation, we will coach you in terms of what exercises you can do. But this video is for general purposes, and I'm hopeful that it will help you personally. Now, how do you really transition from sedentary state to an active state? That is somewhat intimidating. So if you have not done any exercise, all you do is going back and forth between your car and your work, or you're just basically just staying at home, you're retired, and suddenly that exercise comes to you or your doctor recommends to do so. So then it is kind of a little intimidating. So you should ease it in. You don't have to start running. If you have not even walked for a long distance, you should ease into it. Let's say today you can walk a block, tomorrow you can walk 2 blocks. Maybe depending on how you tolerate that, your body will tell you, right, how tired you are. But depending on how you tolerate that, you may want to increase that daily or weekly. And then, how much you increase the intensity, the duration, depends on, again, how you feel. If you feel very winded, that you feel like you cannot do it, your heart is racing, you feel totally exhausted, then I would not recommend pushing. More importantly, if your doctor thinks that you may have a cardiovascular disease, if you had a history of heart attacks, if you are very high risk for cardiovascular disease, you should definitely get a medical evaluation before you go for an intense exercise regimen. For type 2 diabetes, we typically recommend a moderate intensity exercise. We prefer you to do 150 minutes of exercise per week that is moderate in intensity. And we will tell you what is moderate in intensity in a second. But we prefer moderate intensity exercise over very intense exercise. Number one, most type 2 diabetic patients cannot do intense exercise. When I say intense, that means that you're really like almost in an athlete level where you're sprinting, your heart rate is reaching almost close to a maximum level. We do not recommend that. We recommend at least 3 days of exercise a week and 3 non-consecutive days. So you do not want to just do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and take the rest of the week off. So you may skip a day, but you should not give more than 48 hours break between the exercise regimen. So exercise is very important when it comes to that, but also when we talk about exercise, we also talk about aerobic exercise versus resistance exercise, right? So aerobic exercise is more important, in my opinion, than the resistance, which is lifting weights. But I think you should do both, because increasing your muscle mass will also help this muscle tissue to utilize the blood sugar. One caveat though, if you have underlying diabetic eye disease, you should be very careful when you're lifting things, right? When you're at the gym, you're trying to lift weights, it can cause severe damage to your retina because of the pressure that is created when you lift. So even when you lift, you should not try to be heroic and just lift light weights, do more repetition instead of carrying high weights with less repetition. With the aerobic exercise, the same way, instead of sprinting, just walk. The intensity, when we talk about moderate intensity, you should be able to talk if you're walking with someone, but you should not be able to sing. And if you are doing, the upper end of moderate, you may not be able to finish a sentence, but to get to that level, I think you should really take your time and work your way up to it. When you're really into exercise, I don't think you will want to talk to anybody at that point if you're really doing moderate exercise. With the mild exercise, like taking a walk with someone or by yourself, a leisure walk, that will be mild. So you will really need to hit at least 150 to 200 minutes of exercise every week. But the higher the intensity, the less the duration. So if you're jogging or you're running, in a 4 or 5 mile an hour speed, then I think 120 to 150 minutes of exercise will still do the trick. And again, if you're doing some resistance exercise, that's a bonus. That will also that's going to be extremely helpful as well. One thing a lot of people ignore is how you really start and end your exercise. So within the first 5 to 10 minutes of an exercise, let's say you're gonna walk for 40 minutes or brisk walk or a jog, first 5 minutes you should actually take it easy and start slow and build into it. And then once you get the speed, you stay at the speed for 20-30 minutes and then start cooling down. So why is that important? So to reduce the burden on your heart, easing into it will slowly increase your heart rate, so that is going to prevent a sudden demand and possible heart attack if you already have underlying heart disease. So that will help you. Also, it will help you build stamina, so you're not going to be exhausted, so your muscle will engage better if you slowly build into it. And when you cool down, that's also very important, because at least 5 minutes. So start slowing down. If you're on a treadmill, if you're on a Stairmaster, whatever you like to do at the gym, start slowing down the last 5 minutes so your heart rate starts to come down, your body heat starts to go down. That is also very important to prevent the fatigue. So if you abruptly stop the exercise from a moderate to severe, moderate to intense exercise to nothing, that can build a lot of lactic acid in your system, and that can make you very tired later. So in summary, try to do 150 minutes of exercise. Do what you enjoy. That's very important. So if you have knee problems or joint problems, try to go swimming, take swimming lessons. There are a lot of gyms with pools, or there are a lot of communities with pools. Interestingly, when I go to the gym, I always see the pool empty. The community pools are empty, and I wonder why nobody is going to those pools, although they're readily available. So please try to use that. Don't be shy. Just go there. Most of the time, there's not a lot of people anyways. Try not to hit the peak times, of course. But swimming will be very, very helpful for you, especially if you're home. You can go to the gym or a community pool when everybody's at work, and it will be all yours. You can also, if you're not able to stand, for example, you can even do sitting exercises. You can use your arms. Any muscle group that you repetitively use is going to make you burn calories, is going to activate those muscles. So we have a lot of creative ways we can work with you depending on your physical limitation. But whatever you enjoy the most, walking, jogging, bicycling, any type of sport that you like to do, please engage with it at least 150 minutes a week. And that is at least 3 times a total of 150 minutes. If you can exercise with lifting, if you don't have severe retinopathy like eye disease, severe eye disease from diabetes, that is also extremely helpful to build strength and to reduce your insulin resistance as well. I hope that video was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video. Make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe to our videos, to our channel, so we can give you more videos so you can be alerted for the next video.